Let's quickly talk here about about ISIS right now, because Jim, you know, here we go again. Islamic State, while the caliphate was defeated, radical Islam as an ideology, as a belief, has not been, and there were those that wish to evangelise it and to do so via death. Apparently, more and quite specific threats asking people to have multiple attacks here in Australia. A reminder that the world was not exactly a perfect place before we were worrying about whether we were coughing into our elbows or not, that there are still people who want to kill because we don't believe the same thing as them.
Yes, and we saw a very interesting message from ISIS to all disgruntled Muslims around the world that they should strike out at the country that they're in using everyday tools, knives, and certainly of great interest to us was the suggestion that local disgruntled people should start fires. They should start fires in factories. They should start fires in houses and in forests. And the day after that, there broke out in California a series of arson-lit bushfires in that state, which is, as we know, highly liable to extraordinary bushfires. Now, I guess you could say that this might be the climate change group of ISIS. This might be the group of people who are going to set fires that we can then blame on climate change. But there is something about this that reflects the change of power that's going on in the Middle East. And the Middle East is where we get all our liquid fuels from. And the power relativities, because of the impotence of the United States, self-imposed impotence of the United States, is absolutely terrifying. Now, we've got to watch this. Lebanon is a failed state. Even Israel and Saudi and Iran are talking seriously to China in the Middle East. Right. And the US has hardly any presence. And the US people will not allow the US to have a major operation in the Middle East in the foreseeable future. We've got to change ourselves. We've got to become self-reliant in a range of things, but particularly in liquid fuels.
So what is your sense about, as you say, that power dynamic that's changing around the world, that we know that the American appetite for foreign wars, well and truly expunged because of the past 10, 13, 15 years, in fact almost close to 20 years, of course, when you go back to Afghanistan. I'm not imagining that we know that Donald Trump doesn't want to start one if he gets another 4 years. We certainly would imagine that Biden would be a little more dovish because he, of course, is in that frame of mind compared to a Bush or something like that. So who's going to step up here? What is your sense here about who leads the war on terror, or is the war on terror as a concept something that ended with the presidency of Obama?
Well, I think it has ended, whether it ended with Obama or whether it ended as Trump came through and then found that he had to stand by the promises he made in order to get elected. We're not seeing good leadership in the United States, and I think leadership it won't emerge from Europe. It may emerge from our part of the world, in certain circumstances and focused mainly on China. But, I have great concern going into the future. The Middle East is an extraordinary problem. The Caspian and Black Sea is a problem. The Baltics are a problem area. And we face more than we know. Now, if Biden gets in, he is supposed to have a good international relations background, but he was the vice president to President Obama, who did nothing for the entire period of time that was commendable in the international sphere. Paul, I don't know who's going to lead, and what I fear is that will not sort itself out, and maybe it'll be the Americans again until far too late. You've got to shape the world and not just stand back and let the world whack you.
Well, we're about to say goodbye to everyone watching on Sky News on Win. You'll see Andrew Bolt in a couple of minutes' time. We'll open the phone lines in a second. Bronwyn, really quick, last word before we go to break.
Yeah. Well, look, Jim, I couldn't disagree with you more about Biden. I mean, the man's been there for 50 years and done nothing. The point is that Trump, in fact, is showing some leadership against what is our greatest concern, and that's China. And we need to see a close relationship between Australia, China, Japan, India, to see that there is a pushback against what is the inevitable aggression of China. And that's why I say again and again, we have to act. We have to get out of that submarine contract, which will not give us another boat until 2035.
We will do the submarine debate. I just wanted to focus in on Chairman Dam. We'll get to it eventually, don't worry.
It's important that we
I'm
start
not
to show we've got some interoperability with our boats. We can keep our existing conventional submarines, but we need nuclear submarines.